Good morning and welcome to Military Studies 100. I'm Colonel Col Peeples. I'm broadcasting from Prescott, Arizona. This is a workaround. I'm in a studio that my cadets and I built last week, a former economics room attached to the gym. You will hear some extraneous, good, fun high school sounds like boys PE and maybe bells, interruptions, but I would like to make this recording to get ahead of the game and let all my remote students and students taking it here in Prescott High School get on with the class. Our Polycom interactive TV system is working, but it's not recording. So I'm recording this with my family HD video and going to put it up to the web so that my students can go ahead and continue on with the class. I had an introductory video which was YouTube, not as high quality as this, and this is nothing compared to what you'll see in the future once the Polycom system gets online and we can record and upload it to Moodle. Anyway, my name is Colonel Peeples. I started this hybrid military studies course this year, and we want to give a shout out to the first remote students, remote cadets that have come in from Ash Fork High School and Seligman and Sedona Rotc and Rotc High School all came to our first leadership laboratory on the 6th of August. The first time ever in junior ROTC history that we've actually had an online course, and it's working out real well so far. This segment is, I'd like to cover the rules of engagement for our class. This is designed for first year, first time junior ROTC students, and I'm going to talk to you about the rules of engagement and the rationale behind them so that hopefully you can join the team with enthusiasm and understanding as to what we're trying to do. The goal of junior ROTC nationwide, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, is to build better citizens for America and their community. Again, I personally do not care what you do after high school, but I do care that you succeed and you have a plan and that you pursue your goals. One of the very first rules here in junior ROTC is that you call me Colonel. I'm a full colonel in the United States Air Force. Technically, I'm a reservist until this December, my 30th year point. You'll be invited to the retirement party on December 10th. But in ROTC, for me to give you a grade, you call me Colonel. You don't call me Mr. or Denny or Peeps is my fighter pilot call sign. Once you graduate, things can be different. My daughter, Cassidy, took my freshman PE class a couple years ago, and in the classroom, in the ROTC world, she calls me Colonel, and of course at home she calls me other things, or Dad. Inside of junior ROTC, we expect a system of respect and common courtesy. We're teaching you this for a reason. No matter what you do after high school, and a lot of times in high school, there are rules where you work and where you exist. And we expect you to call each other cadet. So I don't really care right now that your first name is Nicole or Brandon, but I do care that your name is Cadet Beaupre or Cadet Smith. And I expect you also to call each other that to each other. We might have a little more leniency and understanding second semester if you impress me with your professionalism and courtesy. But right now, everybody is cadet. You should call each other that, and I expect that to be in effect in our junior ROTC world. Also, sir and ma'am. I promise you, nationwide, most people respect those who use those common courtesies of sir and ma'am. Out in the West, Arizona, Colorado, a lot of times the sir and ma'am are not as used as often as Southeast in Columbia, South Carolina, where I came from. I never knew anybody that didn't say sir and ma'am. But what I'm trying to teach my cadets is a life lesson that if they give proper respect to older people, in particular white-haired old men who might be hiring you one day, or women. If you were to come up and say sir and ma'am to me in an interview, and I had two people who did not, all things being equal, I would definitely hire the person with proper respect. So in ROTC, you will use sir and ma'am, reflecting to each other, talking to each other. And yes, that means a senior will say sir to a freshman, and a freshman say sir to a senior. I want to get over the hump and have this to be absolutely normal and second nature for you. It has nothing to do with rank at this point. It has simply common courtesy. I will, of course, refer to you guys as sir and ma'am also to, again, get the system down so that you don't think it's unusual. And oh, by the way, when I give you recommendations for jobs, you go interview for after high school careers, scholarships, you will win if you have proper courtesy and represent yourself with a level of understanding better than the rest. We don't cuss in junior ROTC. I know in high school you experiment with different clubs, different lifestyles, different friends, different sports, different academic ideas. The whole idea of high school for me, teaching my cadets, is you're supposed to experiment in high school. Yes, experiment, discover your passion, more importantly, discover what you do not like. And that is exactly what I did in high school, and I expect you to do the same. In ROTC, in junior ROTC, I do not tolerate cussing. And I'm not sure, I don't care what you do at home. I don't really care what you do around your friends, but I do care what you do around other junior ROTC cadets in my classroom or in my leadership lab. And by cussing, I mean darn is not acceptable. CRAP is not acceptable. Of course, any of the major cuss words are not acceptable. If you're exasperated, if you're frustrated, you slip up, everybody makes a mistake. But I expect you to be mature enough to have peer accountability and peer control. So that means everyone, from a first-year cadet to a senior cadet to my leaders, need to look at the guy that made the mistake and say, hey, we don't do that here. Knock it off, we don't do that here. That's all you need to say as a general reminder, and we won't be doing this around each other. Matter of fact, just 2 days ago, my other instructor, Lieutenant Colonel Bill DeKemper, said he saw in the Wall Street Journal a article about workplace skills and why people get hired from the hundreds of applicants. And one of the specific points was courtesy. And if someone ever cussed in an interview, or even just say darn or CRAP, that might indicate a little lack of self-control, and that could be a very negative thing for any boss. And then once they got on the job, if they ever curse in front of coworkers or bosses, that seems like that shows, again, a lack of control, lack of vision, lack of self-confidence, and those people get promoted less, just a fact. So I'm trying to teach you lifelong goals here at junior ROTC. In our complex, we have about 4 rooms over in our junior ROTC area. We have a lot of luxuries and a lot of things that we can do over there that a regular English teacher or my history teacher cannot do. You can hang out there from about 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You can eat lunch over there. But we do have a rule called the Rule of 3. And this means there will never be just 2 cadets in any room. And this also applies to Colonel DeKemper and I. He and I can never be alone with one cadet, male or female. And we'll always basically bring in the flight commander or a peer to listen to what we're talking about. So therefore, I don't ever want 2 guys and a girl, or just 2 guys, or just 2 girls. It's called the Rule of 3. In the way back in the Cold War days, when we had lots of nukes, it was called the no lone zone. Not one person could be alone in certain situations. Well, I've expanded that to the no two zone situation. So it's the Rule of 3, and that keeps everybody out of trouble and no appearance of impropriety. By the way, for my Prescott cadets, I will show you, we have a pretty extensive video system so that all of our rooms are videotaped, except for the changing rooms, of course. And that way that also ends up getting rid of any discussion of somebody hit me or somebody was pushing me and all, and we have videotapes of pretty much everything you do on our complex. Which brings me into my final rules of engagement is there is no such thing as touching in junior ROTC. Again, when you work at a professional organization and you're trying to further the mission of the organization, it is perfectly acceptable. Of course, everybody loves enthusiasm. Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. So we allow knuckle bumping and high-fiving, but certainly no hugging. No bro hugs off the side, hey, you had a great football game, or, oh, sweetie, let me celebrate your birthday with you. No, we don't do that. We've gotten into too much trouble with too many immature cadets, and that doesn't, we don't allow that. Public display of affection is what Prescott High School calls it, but we just, in ROTC, call it no touching. You just don't touch. You're professional. You handle stuff with certain respect for other person's space. Again, I do not care what you do off my 34 acres of my high school or at home, but in my classes, in my leadership environment, you do not touch. Okay, that pretty much covers the rules of engagement for our class. I'm trying to encourage you that we're teaching you to be on a team and to work with other people. This is a skill that you'll have your entire life. When I came here to Prescott High School 7 years ago, 100 teachers, I didn't know anybody. And I learned to be part of a team just like I learned to be part of a team playing basketball in high school about 1 million years ago with people I didn't know. So we're teaching you to do that. I welcome you to Military Studies 100. This class will change your life if you let it. And even if you don't let it, I bet you'll remember it and you'll be a better person because of it. If you have any questions about these rules of engagement I talked about, in summary, calling me Colonel, calling each other Cadet Smith, Cadet Bonzike, calling each other Sir and Ma'am, calling myself Sir, no touching, as well as no cussing, and the Rule of 3. If you have any questions about any of that, ask your fellow cadets. They've been doing it. Or ask one of our leaders, or give me a call. This concludes then the Rules of Engagement video. The next one I'm going to be talking about is how do I play this game? How do I do an online hybrid course? Thank you.